For decades, you were told the same thing. Cut the fat, skip the butter, choose everything low fat. And if you're over 60, you probably followed that advice faithfully, maybe for 30 or 40 years. But here's what might surprise you. Research now suggests that after 60, a strict low-fat diet may actually work against you. It may be linked to muscle loss, low energy, and even problems absorbing the vitamins that protect your bones and brain. Why would advice that seems so sensible turn out to be incomplete? And what should you eat instead? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which fats may help you age stronger, and the one common healthy habit that could be quietly draining your strength. Let's get into it. Let me take you back a few decades. If you were shopping for groceries in the 1980s or 90s, you saw it everywhere. Low-fat yogurt, fat-free cookies, skim milk, margarine instead of butter. The message was loud and clear. Fat is the enemy. And you listened. Most of us did, because that's what the experts said at the time. Have you ever wondered where that advice actually came from? In the mid-20th century, heart disease was rising fast. Researchers noticed that people who ate more saturated fat often had more heart problems. So public health advice took a simple path. Eat less fat, all fat. Food companies jumped on board. Low fat became a selling point on almost every package. But here's the part most people miss. When companies removed fat from food, they had to replace it with something. Fat carries flavor. Take it out and food tastes like cardboard. So what did they add instead? Very often, sugar and refined starch. We'll come back to that because it matters more than you might think. Now, was the original advice completely wrong? No. Some fats, especially certain processed fats, really are linked to health problems. That part still holds up, but the advice was painted with a very broad brush, and research in recent years suggests that brush swept away some fats your body genuinely needs, especially as you get older. So what changes after 60? Quite a lot, actually. Let me explain it simply. First, your muscles. After around age 50 or 60, the body naturally starts losing muscle faster. Doctors call this sarcopenia. That's simply age-related muscle loss. It's why jars get harder to open, why stairs feel steeper. And here's the connection. Fighting muscle loss requires enough calories and enough protein. Very low-fat diets are often low-calorie diets too. If you're not eating enough, your body may start breaking down muscle for fuel. Second, your appetite. Have you noticed you're just not as hungry as you used to be? That's common. As we age, appetite signals often get weaker, so every bite counts more. When your plate is small, it needs to be nourishing, not filled with watery, fat-free foods that leave you full but undernourished. And this is where it gets interesting. Third, your vitamins. Some of the most important vitamins for older adults can't be absorbed properly without fat. We'll dig into the science in the next chapter, but hold on to this thought. You can eat all the right vegetables and still miss out on their benefits if there's no fat on the plate. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Galina. She's a composite example, not a real patient, but her story will sound familiar to many of you. Galina is 68. Ever since her husband's heart scare years ago, she's been strict. Fat-free everything. Dry toast, skim milk, salad with lemon juice only, never oil. She was proud of her discipline. But over the past 2 years, Galina noticed changes. She felt weaker. She caught every cold going around. Her doctor found her vitamin D was low, despite her walks in the sunshine, and she'd lost weight without trying. Not the good kind of weight loss, muscle. Was her low-fat diet the only reason? Of course not. Health is never that simple. But when her doctor reviewed her eating habits, the diet was part of the conversation, because a body over 60 has different needs than a body over 30. What protected her at 40 may have been quietly shortchanging her at 68. Here's your core message, and I'll repeat it throughout this video because it matters. After 60, the goal isn't eating less fat, it's eating the right fats in the right amounts. But that raises a big question. What exactly does fat do inside your body? Why would cutting it too low affect your bones, your brain, even your immune system? The answer involves a delivery system inside you that most people have never heard of. And once you understand it, you'll never look at a plain oil-free salad the same way again. That's coming up next. Let me show you something that changed how I think about fat. Imagine your body has a delivery service. Certain vitamins can't travel through your body on their own. They need a ride, and that ride, it's fat. Without it, these vitamins arrive at the wrong address, or never arrive at all. Scientists call them fat-soluble vitamins. That simply means they dissolve in fat, not water. There are 4 of them, A, D, E, and K, and every single one matters enormously as you age. Let's walk through them together. Vitamin A protects your eyes and immune system. Vitamin D, you've heard of this one, keeps your bones strong and may support your mood. Vitamin E guards your cells. And vitamin K helps your blood clot properly and keeps calcium in your bones where it belongs. Now here's the part most people miss. You can eat foods packed with these vitamins, carrots, leafy greens, eggs, but if there's no fat on your plate, your body absorbs only a fraction of them. The delivery truck shows up empty. Research suggests that adding a little healthy fat to vegetables can significantly increase how much of these nutrients you actually absorb. Think about that. Galena, from our last chapter, ate her salad dry with only lemon juice. She was eating the vegetables, but she may have been missing much of their goodness, all because the delivery truck had no fuel. And this is where it gets interesting. Fat doesn't just deliver vitamins, it builds you. Every cell in your body has a wall around it, a membrane, and that wall is made largely of fat. When you eat healthy fats, you give your cells the material to stay flexible and strong. When fat runs too low for too long, cell walls can suffer. Where does this matter most? Your brain. Here's a fact that surprises almost everyone. Your brain is roughly 60% fat. It's one of the fattiest organs you have. It relies on fat to build the connections between brain cells. Certain fats, especially omega-3 fats found in fish, are linked to healthier brain aging. A number of studies suggest people who eat more of these fats may have better memory and thinking in later life. So when you cut fat too aggressively, you may be starving the very organ you most want to protect. Let me pause here and repeat our core message because it's the heart of everything. After 60, the goal is not less fat, it's the right fats in the right amounts. There's more. Your body also uses fat to make hormones. These are the chemical messengers that regulate so much of how you feel, your energy, your mood, even how your body handles stress. Cut the raw material too low, and the whole system can run rough. Now, I want to be fair and balanced here, because this isn't a story about eating unlimited fat. Have you ever heard someone say, just eat all the butter you want? That's not what the science says either. The type of fat matters a lot. Broadly, there are fats that tend to support health and fats that tend to work against it. Fats from olive oil, fish, nuts, seeds, and avocados are generally linked to better outcomes. A famous long-term study in the Mediterranean region suggested that a diet rich in olive oil and nuts was associated with better heart health than a strict low-fat diet. Let that sink in. In that research, the higher-fat Mediterranean pattern did better than the low-fat one. Not because fat is magic, but because the right fats, eaten as part of a whole food diet, seem to serve the body well. Meanwhile, heavily processed and fried fats are a different story. Those are the ones the original warnings were really pointing at. So the picture isn't fat good or fat bad. It's more grown up than that. It's about choosing wisely. Here's a quick example. Picture 2 neighbors, both 70. One eats a small piece of fish, a drizzle of olive oil on vegetables, a handful of walnuts. The other eats fat-free crackers, sugary low-fat yogurt, and dry toast, proudly avoiding all fat. On paper, the second sounds healthier, but their bodies may tell a very different story over time. And that difference, that gap between what sounds healthy and what actually is, leads us straight into the biggest mistakes people make. Because some of the healthy habits you trust most, they might be the very ones holding you back. Let's uncover them. Now we get to the part that surprises people the most, because some of these mistakes feel like the healthy choice. That's exactly why they're so easy to make. You might be doing one of them right now, with the best of intentions. Let's walk through 3 of them together. Mistake number 1, trusting the low-fat label. Here's something that took me years to fully appreciate. When a food says low-fat or fat-free on the front, that is not the same as healthy. Remember what we said earlier? When companies remove fat, food loses flavor, so they add something back. Very often, that something is sugar. Picture a fat-free fruit yogurt. Sounds virtuous, doesn't it? But turn the tub around and read the label. Many of these have several spoonfuls of added sugar in a single serving. You removed the fat and swapped it for sugar. For a body over 60, that's often a poor trade. And this is where it gets interesting. That sugar can spike your blood sugar, leave you hungry again soon after, and offer very little real nourishment. Meanwhile, a full-fat plain yogurt keeps you satisfied longer and delivers those fat-soluble vitamins we talked about. So the healthier-looking choice may actually be the weaker one. You might be reaching for those low-fat products right now, thinking you're doing your body a favor. I understand completely. For years, that was the advice. But here's our core message again, in fresh words. It's not about how little fat is in the package, it's about the quality of the whole food. Mistake number 2, believing that eating fat makes you fat. This one runs deep. It even sounds logical, doesn't it? Fat on the plate becomes fat on the body. Simple. Except your body doesn't work that simply. Let me explain with an analogy. Think of your body like a furnace. What matters isn't just one type of fuel. It's the total balance of what goes in and what gets burned. Fat is actually a very satisfying fuel. It keeps you full. And when you feel full, you naturally tend to eat less overall. Here's the twist most people never hear. Many folks who go strictly low-fat end up eating more crackers, more bread, more sugary diet snacks, because fat-free food often doesn't satisfy. They nibble all day and never feel content. Have you ever eaten a light snack and found yourself hungry an hour later? That's this exact problem in action. A modest amount of healthy fat, a few nuts, a little olive oil, half an avocado can help you feel satisfied and eat more sensibly. Research increasingly suggests that the total pattern of your diet matters far more for weight than fat alone. So fat, the right kind, isn't the villain in the weight story. Often, it's a quiet helper. Mistake number 3, fearing every food with cholesterol, like eggs. For decades, many people were afraid of eggs. The thinking went, eggs have cholesterol, so eggs must raise your cholesterol and harm your heart. Straightforward, right? But here's the part most people miss. For most people, the cholesterol you eat in food has a smaller effect on your blood cholesterol than once believed. Your liver actually makes most of the cholesterol in your body, and it adjusts based on what you eat. Many major health bodies have softened their stance on dietary cholesterol in recent years. Now, I need to be careful and fair here. Some people are more sensitive to dietary cholesterol than others. If you have specific conditions, your doctor may still advise limits. That's exactly why this matters. Discuss your own situation with your doctor before making changes. This is general information, not a personal instruction. But the blanket fear, never touch an egg, isn't supported the way people assume. Eggs are affordable, easy to chew, and packed with protein and nutrients. For many seniors, they can be a genuinely useful food. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Boris. Again, a composite, not a real patient. Boris, 72, avoided eggs for 30 years out of fear. He struggled to eat enough protein and often felt weak in the mornings. When he finally spoke with his doctor, he learned that for his situation, an egg or two several times a week was perfectly reasonable. Such a small change, but it made breakfast easier and his mornings steadier. Do you recognize yourself in any of these 3 mistakes? If you do, please don't feel bad. You followed the guidance you were given. The science simply moved forward. So if these common habits aren't the answer, what actually helps? What should be on your plate? That's exactly what we'll cover next. And some of it might just make your meals more enjoyable, not less. All right, now for the good news. This is the part where eating well starts to feel less like punishment and more like nourishment. Because welcoming the right fats back onto your plate can make food tastier and better for you at the same time. Before we begin, one important promise to yourself. Talk with your doctor before making any real changes, especially if you take medication or manage a health condition. What follows is general guidance, not a personal prescription. Think of it as a starting point for a conversation with your own physician. With that said, let's walk through what tends to help. Start with olive oil. If there's one simple change many people find easy, it's this: bring back a little good oil. A drizzle of olive oil over your vegetables does 2 wonderful things. It makes them taste better, so you actually eat more of them. And remember our delivery truck? That oil helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins hiding in those vegetables. Think back to Galena and her dry salad. A single spoon of olive oil might have transformed that meal. Same greens, far more benefit. Extra virgin olive oil in particular has long been linked to heart and brain health in older adults. And here's the part most people miss. You don't need much. We're not talking about drowning your food. A spoonful here, a drizzle there, small amounts used consistently are the goal. Next, welcome fatty fish. Fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are rich in those omega-3 fats we discussed, the ones linked to healthier brain and heart aging. Eating fish a couple of times a week is a pattern associated with many benefits in older adults. Now, I know fish can feel inconvenient. It can seem expensive or hard to prepare, but here's a friendly tip. Canned sardines and mackerel are affordable, soft, easy to chew, and require no cooking at all. For many seniors, they're one of the simplest upgrades available. And this is where it gets interesting, because these small, humble fish are among the most nutrient-dense foods you can buy. Add a handful of nuts and seeds. Walnuts, almonds, and seeds bring healthy fats, protein, and fiber together in one small package. A modest handful most days is a habit associated with better heart health. They're perfect as a snack, far better than those fat-free crackers that leave you hungry. One gentle caution: if chewing is difficult, nut butters spread thinly can be a softer option. And keep portions modest, since nuts are rich in energy. A small handful, not a large bowl. Don't fear eggs and avocado. As we discussed, for many people, eggs are a useful, affordable protein, easy to prepare and easy to chew. And avocado brings creamy, satisfying fat that pairs beautifully with almost anything. Both can help you feel full and nourished. Here's our core message once more in yet another form. After 60, the aim isn't to strip fat away, it's to choose good fats and enjoy them in sensible amounts. Now let me connect 2 ideas that matter enormously for your strength. Remember sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss we talked about? Fighting it requires protein and enough total nourishment. Healthy fats help on both fronts. They add satisfying calories to smaller senior appetites, and they often come packaged alongside protein in fish, eggs, nuts. So welcoming these foods back isn't just about vitamins or the brain. It may help protect the very muscle that keeps you independent. Have you noticed how everything connects? The fat helps absorb vitamins. The vitamins protect bones and immunity. The protein and calories guard your muscle. It's all one system, working together when you feed it properly. Let me share one more composite story. Meet Tamara, 65, not a real patient, but a familiar picture. For years, Tamara ate a strict, low-fat diet and felt tired and unsatisfied. After speaking with her doctor, she made small, gentle shifts. Olive oil on her vegetables, sardines twice a week, a boiled egg some mornings, a few walnuts as a snack, nothing dramatic. Within a couple of months, she reported more energy and, to her surprise, more enjoyment at mealtimes. Her plate had more color, more flavor, and more life. That's the spirit of this whole video. Eating well after 60 shouldn't feel like deprivation. It should feel like caring for yourself. But one warning before we build your plan. Adding good fats doesn't mean abandoning all balance. This isn't a license to fry everything or pile on heavily processed foods. Those are still the fats to limit. The magic is in the quality and in the whole pattern of how you eat. So how do you put all of this together into something simple you can actually follow day to day without stress or complicated rules? Let's build your plan. Let's bring it all together now, simply, with no complicated rules, because a plan you can't remember is a plan you won't follow. This should feel easy, not overwhelming. First, remember the golden rule one final time. This is general guidance. Before you change anything, talk with your doctor, especially about portions, medications, or any condition you manage. Now, here's a gentle weekly rhythm to consider. Every day, add a little healthy fat to your vegetables, a drizzle of olive oil. That single habit helps your body absorb the vitamins we talked about. Small effort, big return. A couple of times a week, enjoy fatty fish, fresh salmon if you like it, or affordable canned sardines and mackerel, which need no cooking at all. Easy, soft, and rich in those brain-friendly omega-3 fats. Most days, reach for a small handful of nuts instead of a fat-free cracker. More satisfying, more nourishing, and better for your heart. Several mornings a week, consider an egg if your doctor agrees. An easy, affordable protein to start your day steady and strong. And what should you gently reduce? The heavily processed, deep-fried fats and those sugary, low-fat products that remove the fat but added the sugar. That's the trade you now know to watch for. Have you noticed how simple this really is? You're not counting anything. You're not banning foods in fear. You're just choosing better fuel, one small meal at a time. Let me leave you with the bigger picture, because this video was never truly about fat alone. For years, healthy eating was framed around subtraction. Cut this, remove that, avoid, avoid, avoid. And somewhere along the way, many of us made our plates smaller, plainer, and, without realizing it, poorer in the very nourishment our aging bodies needed most. Here's the shift I hope you carry with you. After 60, healthy eating is less about subtracting and more about adding the right things. Adding good fats, adding color, adding protein, adding flavor, and yes, adding joy back to your table. Let me repeat our core message one last time so it stays with you. After 60, the goal isn't eating less fat, it's eating the right fats in the right amounts. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It has earned good, generous nourishment, not deprivation, not fear, not a plain, dry salad eaten out of guilt. Remember Galena from the very beginning? Imagine her now, with a spoon of olive oil on her greens, a sardine on her toast, a few walnuts in the afternoon. Same woman, but better fed and quietly stronger. That transformation is available to you too. Aging well isn't about eating less and less until food becomes joyless. It's about feeding yourself wisely so you stay strong, clear-minded, and independent for as many years as possible. You've earned that, and it can start with your very next meal. Let's quickly recap the 3 things worth remembering. 1. After 60, your body needs the right fats to absorb vitamins, protect your brain, and guard your muscle. So extreme low-fat eating can work against you. 2. Many low-fat products simply swapped fat for sugar, so the healthy-looking choice isn't always the healthy one. 3. Small, gentle additions. Olive oil, fatty fish, a handful of nuts may help you age stronger with more energy and more enjoyment. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you been following a strict low-fat diet for years? What's one small change you might try this week? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else watching. If this helped you see food in a fresh, kinder way, consider subscribing. We break down confusing health topics into simple, practical steps made especially for you. And please remember, this video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your doctor before making health decisions. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take good care of yourself. You've earned it.